So, hello everyone. This is the last topic we are going to take up for the section A of essay paper 2023. And topic reads as inspiration for creativity springs from the effort to look for the magical in the mundane. Now, this topic is very interesting, and you can write a very good essay on this topic, having by discussing different aspect and substantiating with good examples. So let us begin the discussion by finding the keywords. Keywords here are inspiration, creativity, the magical, and mundane. So, what is inspiration? If I will go by the basic meaning, it is the motivation to do something. It is a push to do something, a required level of thrust that you need to break the inertia. Okay. Moving further, what is creativity? Now, just think about it. What is creativity? You, in general, when you are walking and you find someone has used some ordinary things around which are available to you also, but have created something which is very new, very pleasing, very attractive. So, creativity is creating new things using the available resources. To understand it in crude terms, so you can relate it to the terms like innovation, the ingenuity, okay, imaginative, all these terms. Then comes the term magical. Now, what is magical? Magical is something that it kind of pleases you. You don't have any explanation what is happening, but whatever is happening pleases you. It is kind of something which is delightful, delightful for your senses and your eyes. Okay, something new, something that engages you. Okay, and the term mundane. Now, what is mundane? Mundane, for general understanding, is something that is very ordinary. Ordinary in sense that you are accustomed of it. You see it, you watch it on a regular basis, and there is nothing special in it. You kind of familiar with it. So something very ordinary. And if you will dig deeper, mundane is something related to earthly life, which is not spiritual. Okay. So topic says that motivation for innovation or imagination comes from when you put your effort to find something delightful out of ordinary. Now understand it with an example. Now you all are aware of the story of Isaac Newton. Now everyone at that point of time or before that was watching a falling apple. He was sitting or lying in the garden. He was also watching an ordinary event. But then he started observing the event. He started to look beyond the surface. Okay. And what he found? He found theory of gravity, which was magical for the generations to come. Okay. Similar was the case with the Archimedes. He was bathing in his bathtub. His body was floating in the bathtub, and suddenly he ran on the street shouting, Eureka, Eureka. So what was our ordinary, a daily bathing season for session for everyone, he was observant enough to find something magical out of it. And he found law of buoyancy, which is still applicable. So again, as I have said earlier, you can either explain your understanding through these keywords, or you can use examples or anecdotes like Archimedes or Newton to explain the same. Now, if you have used the anecdote, then the obvious thing that one should do is to explain the key terms. Second, now hit the core of the topic, that why inspiration of creativity springs from the effort to look for the magical in mundane. Magical in mundane. Okay. So as we discussed, that mundane is something ordinary, which kind of fails to engage our senses or our attention. But when one will look beyond the surface, what will happen? Person will be engaged at a deeper level. Engaged at a deeper level. So what usually we do, we look, we see things, we look for things. Person will start observing. Okay, we generally do things, but then we will start experiencing as a whole. Now, sometimes you may have experienced that sometimes going to your favorite place and you just want silence. You want to get assimilated with the nature, or you are going to any temple, mosque, or church. You just want to sit silently for few minutes or hours, because now you are having a experience and you are observing each and every sound. Okay, so whenever one will look beyond the surface, he will engage at a deeper level, and then one will find a new pattern in everything. Have you heard people saying that sound music of the river, flowing river, music of the wind? Because now they have observed a pattern out of it. And when they work on this observation or this founding, what they will do, they will create something which would be magical for everyone. Now we can substantiate this argument through several examples. The first is works of some NGOs. I want to list down. First is Teach India. Now we all know that India is having edge of demographic dividend. Now we have many students who have received their education from very good institution. Now there is a chunk of mass of people who cannot afford quality education. What this NGO did, they matched the demand and supply. They asked the youngsters to go for teaching the people who are not having luxury of education due to their financial position or social position, whatever it is. So What was evident to everyone around us, few people took up this initiative and changed the scenario. They made a very big impact on the literacy rate of India. Talking about literacy rate, we can also quote NGO Akshay Patra. They provided nutritious midday meal in the schools. And what they achieved? First, the nutrition question for the students, plus the enrollment ratio. Because for want of food, many students came and took admission. Similar is the case with the Sulabh International. Now, hygiene and sanitation, we all know about it. We all know that it is the requirement. But Sulabh International took the initiative to create toilets, and that brought the change. So, what seems ordinary, what is ordinary for others, okay, this is a problem, it is there, leave it there, what can I do? But few people will take up an initiative and will bring out the change. Okay, further, you can quote any discovery, scientific discovery, like we did in case of Newton and Archimedes, where people looked for ordinary things and brought out a new idea, like that of steam engine, which changed the face of entire history by bringing the industrial revolution. Okay, further, you can talk about all the startups. Don't you think they are innovative in their approach? Like we all had that concern of delivering, say, intercity courier service was there, intracity courier service was not there, and we all cribbed about it. Okay, I want to send a paper, now I have to travel for 30-35 kilometers just to give a file. What can I do, what can I do? Then came up a starter, Porter, and another is Dunzo. They are doing it for you. So such startups, you can quote any startup which came out with an innovative idea which was visible to every one of us, but they were the first to arrange them in an orderly fashion and bring out a magical thing. Further, if you will, we all knew about the solar energy, the potential of tropical countries, but it was India and France which came together with an innovative idea of International Solar Alliance. Now many countries have joined and world is looking it as um, a source of energy security, and everyone is praising this innovative idea. So what was here? Solar energy was there, everything was there, but first time somebody strategized or planned to do something very creative. An alliance was forged. Okay, further, if you can if you want to quote, all have read about Koppen in your geography NCRT. Who was Koppen? Koppen was known as a person who first brought the climatic zonation or the climatic classification of the world. But know this story. He went for a vegetation classification. So while observing the vegetation, the types of vegetation, he observed that precipitation has a very big role in it. And then he came up with an innovative idea of climatic classification, which you all read. So there are several examples where people have looked for something magical in mundane and created something which was new to the entire humanity. Now, moving further, I would not say this is an antithesis. It is just an ancillary point. That topic says that looking for magical in mundane is inspiration for creativity. I would add something in it. That while discussing the key terms, we learned that a mundane is something which is not spiritual. But don't you think the bhakti movement or the Sufism or the Jainism or the Buddhism all were magical? The magical creation, they all are related to spiritualism, but they are magical too. They were innovative. They are innovative in their approach, in their preachings, in their methodologies. And that's why they became so famous. Now, we talked about various scientific discoveries, but there are discoveries which are which came out not from the ordinary things, but looking beyond ordinary and into extraordinary things, like theory of relativity of Einstein. So, as I said, it is not an antithesis, it is just an ancillary point that inspiration for creativity can also come from effort to look for the magical in things which are not that ordinary, but extraordinary, supernatural, spiritual. Okay. And on that note, you can conclude your essay by highlighting the significance of finding magical in mundane and observing and engaging and finding patterns, etc. Thank you.